to their Saturday morning Samoflange, my first Samoflange back on YouTube. And boy, is it good to be back on YouTube. And I could not think of a better guest to have kicking it off than the one I have today. Folks, if you've seen my top 100 vintage games of all time video, you have heard me mention him only 3 or 4 times in detail. When I rip off some of his reviews, like he's already reviewed the game and I have to go out and get it, I even give him credit. But at the same time, his reviews are 1,000% better than mine. And it is Luke from Down from the Attic. Luke, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me, Matt.
Oh man, just that accent. I'm ready to hear you say, "Hi, I'm Luke."
Hi, I'm Luke, and welcome to Down from the Attic.
Yeah, there you go, man. It just sounds good. See, with that kind of intro, why wouldn't people want to watch your channel? Now, let me ask you a question. You started this channel because this is your real attic you're going into, right? It's not a prop. Yeah. It's not a set prop. That's the thing. But by the way, it's well lit.
I've got automotive lamps up there, old bedside lamps. Just whenever I can get up there to light the area, it's pretty dark otherwise.
It looks professionally lit. Like the first time I came across your channel, I actually thought you had built the set.
Oh God, no!
Being in an attic, I thought, oh, this guy's got a good schnick, and then I thought, you know what? I think that really is his attic. But it looks so well lit. You know what I mean? You do a pretty good job there.
I do my best. Yeah.
And so you are reviewing a lot of vintage board games and then some toys, sometimes some comic books.
Yes.
And from your childhood. And first off, I want to say that, man, your editing skills far surpass anything that I will ever become.
Oh, thanks.
But this is something you do as a real job, right?
Yeah. I'm an editor for, I make toy commercials and animations for a toy company. So my job is animation, editing, filming, production, pretty much anything you could think of involved in making televised content. I have a hand in it somewhere.
Wow, you're basically living the dream.
Oh, it's brilliant, yeah.
Wow, is this something you always wanted to do, or it just kind of come your way, the job come your way?
Pretty much something I've wanted to do since I can remember, really. I've had an interest in animation from a very young age, and I used to borrow my dad's camcorder and make animations with plasticine. I used to have this really brilliant program for Windows back in the mid-90s called 3D Movie Maker. And you'd have like 3D sets and 3D actors, and you could make little films, and I'd make films on that, and it's all like hand animation. So animation and filming and making stories, something I was very much into from a very young age. You know, it's the last couple of years I've been proactive about it and been lucky enough to get a job in something that I'm really interested in, and toys and games. You know, it's like second nature to me. You know.
Yeah. So was your YouTube channel practice to get that job, or did you use that as a hey, here's some of my resume, check out my YouTube channel?
To be fairly honest, I got incredibly lucky. I saw the job listing, and I started the YouTube channel to practice my writing more than anything. I've got a degree with English, and I used it for ages, so I thought I'll start writing for a different purpose. I'll start writing reviews, and I'll start writing scripts, so I can practice writing for... because a lot of my writing was for fiction. I'd write short stories. Let's try writing something non-fiction. Let's try writing for a different audience. So started writing these reviews, and I became more interested in the editing side of things and filming side of things, and took online courses. Saw the job listing, and by the time, whilst I was editing my showreel together from the episodes, and I filmed a special little thing for the company, which they absolutely loved. I was a day late with the listing, and I rang them up and I begged them over the phone, please let me submit. And okay, sure, no problem. Said, I've seen the listing. I'm working on something for you. Please just let me submit it. I've spoken with my boss since. He said, we saw the video and immediately was like, give him the job. It's his, you know.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Wow. That is great.
They could see immediately, like, I'm interested in toys, and I think my boss liked the fact that I've done it self-taught. I'm not going from, like, college, and, like, my boss said, like, people in college, when it comes to editing, it's all, you do it this way, you do it this way, do it this way. Well, I figured, like, well, no, I like the way that looks, and that's the way I'm going to shoot it, so...
Right, they use they approach it to a standard process where you look at it more from a creative process, and because you have a passion for toys, it's right up their alley. I can see where they would look at that and go, "No, that's our guy right there." Obviously.
So the video I sent into them was I made it's sort of like low on the ground, and I'm laying out all different toys and board games, and you can see I'm making something out of bits and pieces out of games and train track and stuff like that. And at the very end, the camera pulls away, and I've made the logo for the company out of all my old toys. And they just absolutely loved it, to the point where anytime someone comes in from like outside offices or people being shown around, it's like, show them what you did for getting the job here. Yeah, so not the work I'm doing, the stuff.
But it shows how creative you are, though.
Yeah,
that's the uniqueness, and that's the thing. In today's world, you have to stand out. It's not, don't just let the paper talk to. That's what I tell people all the time. Don't just let your a nice resume is good to have, but you need to have that personality. You need to stand out. You need to think outside the box.
Oh, of course. I mean, the first idea I had, and the one that I submitted to them, was a real last-ditch effort sort of thing. It's like I had the idea of making like a toy figure commercial of myself. So I bought an action figure and customized it and painted it to make it look like me, and made a custom little box and blister card for it. And it was like, hey, it's the Luke action figure. He can edit, he can film, he can make animations. And I got halfway through it and I thought, this is just terrible. So it was a good idea on paper, and then I started filming it and it was just, this is not working. So back to the drawing board really quick and came up with this idea, and thank God they loved it, So I've been there nearly 2 years, and it's been absolutely fantastic so far.
That's great. That's great. I'll share a similar story. When I was one of over 600 people who applied for the job that I have now, and my boss said from my phone interview, she already knew I was the one.
Wow.
Just because of my energy, the way I talked, the way I carried myself, and then when she saw me for the interview, she said it just solidified her choice. And we had to do one final interview where I had to do a presentation. And she said I knocked it out of the park. She was hoping I would, because she said I was really her favorite candidate. And I came in there, and I was someone from outside the company. Nowadays, they don't hire outside the company. They usually like to promote from within and bring someone in from the ground up. So I came in at a position, and that's very rare. But when I came in there, I hit it out of the park, and everyone agreed, yeah, give him the job. He's got the job. So I wasn't as creative as you were just then. I did something different. I accidentally called out. I was so vain. I thought I was the only one who was applying for the job. I thought there couldn't be that many people. I didn't know there was over 600.
Wow.
And I walked in there, and there were all bigwigs in the room. I didn't know that either. And that would work to my advantage because I treated everyone nice, politely. I saw they had some Legos. Everyone had a few Legos on their table next to them. I said, Legos. I went, you know what? That reminds me. There's an old training, training 101 on how to instruct people piece by piece. They have you put together and make a little Lego dog. And I said, but I'm sure no trainer would be dumb enough to do that because that's for kids and you guys are adults. But I was just making an observation from what I know about training. And I insulted the lady who went before me. She did that. She did an instructional thing to have them put together a little Lego dog. She gave them all Legos. After she walked out, everyone went, she treated us like kids. And when I said that, when I saw from the Legos, I guessed, I understood what it was. I said it's an old internet thing, and I just explained what the training exercise was, why it was improper to do for adults. I had no idea that someone had just done it. I just saw Legos, and it just reminded me of that training exercise. And everyone was amazed. Supposedly, I didn't see her, but my boss turned and looked at the site manager and went, like, isn't that what we just said? She said, Matt, it was so freaky. It was like you were in the room with us. You explain the exercise. You explain why it doesn't work for adults. You explain what exercises do work. I mean, you just went ahead. It wasn't even part of my presentation. I just started explaining how training works. I'd been in training for a while, and that instantly got me the job. So I know what it's like. Go ahead.
Like, I was just saying, I think sometimes employees look for honesty, and I think that worked in your favor there.
It did. But, I mean, like I said, it just one of those things. I was incredibly lucky to have the job I have today, and I'm still with them 10 years later. Just celebrated 10 years with them. I know. It's been awesome. So I'm really happy for you and your job. I think that's great. The only thing I didn't like about it, and you announced this on the channel when you got the job, that you may have to slow down on videos. It's like, no. And it doesn't matter because you bring them out regularly enough to where we can see one. But when you do one, it's actually top quality. Okay, it's not Matt Wilkins with a hack job camera just filming one shot of the board game. Folks, what Luke does, and by the way, just go and check out any one of his videos, and you will see exactly what it is. There are multiple shots, and I know you take multiple shots of different things to make sure the ball goes into the hole or does this. I know you do that a million. I said, I bet that was, he probably did 47 takes.
The right one.
Say what?
It can take hours to get the right shot.
I can tell. I can tell watching your video when you show how you knock it into this. I was like, no, he didn't do that on one shot. I said, that probably took 47 takes right there until he finally got the right one. And let me ask you this, because you do voiceover as you're showing the video clips. Do you ever have to go back and shoot something like, dang, I'm missing a scene where they actually do this, or you actually move here? Do you actually have to go back and do reshoots is what I'm asking.
I do reshoots. So my process is I write the script and then I record it as a dialogue track. And from the dialogue track, I use that to, my laptop's usually at the side of me, either with the script or with the audio track next to me. And I use it to infer what I'm filming, which is helpful. It's a prompt and a reminder. But there has been times where I've sort of skipped ahead a little bit and I've come to piece it together in the edit. It's like, oh, I've forgotten that, So, yeah, there's been times where I've had to bring it back down, set everything back up again. But most of the times, sometimes something will happen which is so fluky and so unpredicted. It depends on the game. So, like a game like Fireball Island or Tornado Rex, where it's really in the gods what's going to happen. Something amazing could happen. And it could be captured on the camera. There's been times where I've been focused on something else, and something else on the other side of the board has happened, which, I wish I'd filmed that,
It'll never happen again.
Exactly, yeah.
Let me ask you, I have an idea of which one is your favorite. Which one are you most proud of? Is there a particular video that you're like, man, that was a good one? Like, if you could suggest people to look at one of your videos, which one would you suggest they check out?
I would probably say the Curse of the Idol one's pretty good.
I knew that was it. I should have written it down on paper and shown you. Yes. I knew that you liked that and you wanted more to be like that, but that was right before you got your job, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've still got the green screen, and I had plans for doing a lot of green screen stuff for Halloween. I had a review all written up. A couple of reviews. It was going to be a series of reviews over the Halloween period, which would have the special effects. And obviously, with me working at a toy company, I've got access now to really high-end editing software, and
of course.
I've got all sorts of things that I can build much better effects than what I did with. I mean, the green screen that I used for that Curse of the Idol episode was, I think it was about 6 IKEA green blankets that I stitched together. And yeah, I thought, well, this will get the job done. And it was just dreadful. It really was.
That is incredible, the amount of work that you put into these. But you can tell, folks, you can tell if you go to Down from the Attic, check it out, because all of his videos are top quality. Now, there's a few videos. First off, I'm going to talk about Curse the Idol. Mm-hmm. I had looked into Curse the Idol, and I passed it because I read the rule book, and I went, that sounds awful. And in your video, you offered some house rules. Those house rules were so impactful on me that you convinced me to buy the game. How did you come up with those house rules?
Through playing it, really.
Okay.
We played it. To be honest, Curse of the Idol was a game that I'd looked at and had passed on. I was actually looking for another game with a very similar mechanic. I don't know if you've heard of it's the Walt Disney World Haunted Mansion game. And it's got I can see your face there.
No, I did not know about this.
It's a really rare and really expensive board game. It's beautiful artwork, but it's got a similar mechanic where parts of the track are on cogs with different paths. And I don't know if you've ever been to Disney World with the ball with the ghosts dancing. So there's little cardboard cutouts of the ghosts. And when you turn the cogs, the ghosts spin and dance like in the ballroom, but the paths change. And I thought, well, I can't afford this. You know, it's nearly $300. So I looked into games with similar mechanics and found Curse of the Idol. And yeah, playing that game and seeing the mechanics firsthand, there's the room there for improvement. And this is the problem I've found with playing with a number of these children's games is they are geared towards children, and we're playing them as adults. And certain things need to be tweaked to make them more appealing to adults.
Right. Okay, so I'm checking out this game right now. I never knew about this game. My wife is a huge Haunted Mansion fan.
It's an old one. I think it's from 74, 75, something like that.
It's a 70s one. Wow. That is incredible. That is incredible. And, of course, this one is...
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, anyway. Not getting that one either for the missus for Christmas. So, now I pride myself in finding that this is the thing about vintage board games. That I think a lot of people, especially in the board game hobby, have forgotten. They pass them over because they're simple, but yet they're so smart and they're so creative at times. They're not always roll and move. And in fact, I don't think I have a single roll and move vintage board game because they made so many. Now, could they be as complex as the new ones there are today? No, but they didn't need to. They were going for kids.
Exactly.
So look at something like Curse. One of the games that you really turned me on to was where is it? I'm trying to look at it. The football action. What's it called?
Pro Action.
Pro Action Football. Pro Action Football. Which, by the way, in America, soccer, folks. But Pro Action Football. When you showed me that game, first off, I hate soccer. We call soccer. You call football. I'm gonna call it football from here on out. But I hate football. I never liked the sport. I thought it was boring. I saw your review and I was like, I gotta have this game. This looks incredible. Yeah. My nephews absolutely adore that game. We play it a lot, and I will even say, go, for the long, hold it out as long as I can, dancing around the room. But that is all thanks to you. I don't have your version. You have the original with the net, the string net and everything.
Oh, you're not missing anything there. That thing is horrible to put together.
I have the plastic net that you just snap on. And I remember you said that in the review, and I was like, okay, I don't need, even though that one looks nice, I'll get the 90s version, or whatever the later version was, and I'll go with that one instead. And we have had the best time. My wife did not understand why I got that game when I got it. And I said, no, I saw this down from the attic. I said, you got to look at this. She went, what? And then she saw it being played. She went, that actually looks, where'd you see this again? She's like, couldn't believe that I found a game like that. I was like, no, isn't this awesome?
I mean, I'm no football fan either, and I've had that game since I was a kid. It was just one of those ones where I saw the advert for it, and it blew my tiny little mind. Just like, wow, that looks so cool. I've got to have this.
Yeah. Now, go ahead.
Remember begging for that for Christmas, and I remember my mum saying, "But you don't even like football." Yeah, but this looks fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah, Mom, this is different. It's so much fun, and it is fun. It's an incredibly fun game to play. Incredibly fun. A lot of this, the next question I had, a lot of these toys that you're reviewing, these are your original toys from when you were a kid. Luke, my toys were not... I took great pride in keeping good care of my toys. I have not a single toy that your toys look absolutely in pristine condition. How did you play with toys as a kid?
To be fair, I mean, like stuff like the crash test dummies, I was really rough with those things.
Well, that's the whole purpose, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, they're supposed to be rammed into skirting boards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the plane, I dropped out my bedroom window and smashed it on the patio. It's I put them through the paces, but my granddad collected toys. Both my grandparents did. They collected tin toys, had a huge collection of old Clockwork tin toys, and my interest in toys was sort of, stoked by them, and they always looked after theirs, and by proxy I started looking after mine, so...
Let me add in, actually folks, one of Luke's best videos, now that I think about it, was the Steam toys. That you reviewed those old Steam toys from your grandfather, and you talk about how your grandfather took good care of the toys, and how that influenced you too. Now that I think about it, and that was a really good episode.
Yeah, those are really special toys. They are old toys, those.
And folks, those are we never had those in America, as far as I know. But the thing is, that was incredibly smart. I remember I just jumped in the bed and I showed my wife. I said, "You gotta look at this." I said, "They're steam powered." She's like, "What?" She said, "Do they still make them?" I said, "No, they wouldn't make stuff like this. This is so dangerous." But
they actually do.
They do.
They still make them.
The steam power that gets super hot?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Shut up.
Honestly, the company's called Mamod, MAMOD, and you can still buy them.
Those are toys for a different era, man. It was where you get to see machinery work in its purest form. It's actually something you'd find in a schoolroom. And actually, that's something that they should bring out for schools, for science projects or stuff like that, to have them look and see how things work. I find that, and then even, well, I'm backing away. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let me back up. All right. Sure. So anyway, steam-powered toys, folks. Check out that one. What was that video called?
I think it's just called Steam Engines.
Steam Engines. So check out Steam Engines. That's another great video. All right, let me go back to the original topic before I move on. I have so much to talk about. All right, but you take the boxes, the pieces to your board games. Now, to be honest, did you have any brothers or sisters? Let me ask that.
Yeah, I've got one brother.
Older, younger?
Younger brother.
And he didn't eat or lose any of your pieces?
There's been damage over the years, which eBay's brilliant for, finding replacement bits.
None of my games from my childhood survived. My brothers lost pieces all the time. They'd play the game, then lose it, or take the pieces to do something else with them.
Oh yeah, that happened quite a bit, but everything, for the most part, everything is still there. There's a few toys where I don't have all the bits of them still, and it's a shame because I would have loved to show those ones. Like, I did a review on Big Loader, which is this old Tomy toy where it's like a construction site and it's all powered by one little motor, and it's amazing.
I love that.
They did one before it called Big Loader, which is equally as amazing, and I've only got half the bits for that. So these things happen. I mean, 30 years have passed since we first got those. So,
it's just amazing. Some of the games. I mean, I did a deep dive years ago, a few years back, looking at every odd and end vintage game, and I am still to this day finding new ones through your channel, through Norm, the Board Game Museum's channel. that I just never knew about. I'm like, this is so fascinating. I find all these little games just, they're vintage, but they shouldn't be overlooked because they've got that, and you say this, they've got that fun factor in them, and they're so creative and unique. A lot of them are very unique for its time, and you don't see some of the things that you see in vintage games that in today's games. Like there's a game called Chopper Strike that uses a clear plastic tray for your air battles. And I was thinking, why hasn't anyone thought of making a clear plastic tray for their air battles in different, or a superhero board game where you have them, Superman's up on the clear tray, he's above the land, but you have people you're fighting on both air and land. No one's ever done that. And I thought that was just so smart that Chopper Strike found a way to do it and make their game stand out. And I don't know, those unique mechanisms are what I find so fascinating about them. What do you like about vintage games?
What I love about vintage games, I mean, I think my favorite manufacturer is probably Milton Bradley because they experimented so much with mechanics and game design, and like you said, they are children's games for the most part, but they keep the rules simple enough for children to get the rules really quickly, but engaging enough for adults to enjoy them, and like me and yourself are still enjoying, 30, 40 years after the games come out, we're still enjoying these things. And I mean, some of these things, you think about the work and design that's gone into making them, and they're out for a year. And that's the thing that blows my mind, that some of them have gone on to be such enduring classics like Mousetrap and, Downfall and games which anybody, most people have in the house, like Monopoly. Okay, that's Hasbro now. But then there's games like, I think I mentioned to you on the email, this one called Cuckoo Noughts by MB. And it's got the most bizarre mechanic I've seen of a game ever. It's insane. It's got this pneumatic pump, and you've got to move you've got a little astronaut, and there's a flying saucer hanging over the board on an arm. And you move your little figure along the board, and you land it on the last space, which is this pneumatic pump. And then you thump the pump, and the astronaut gets shot up into the flying saucer. It's like, why is nothing like this being made anymore? There's games like I've hunted for this one. I definitely had it in the 90s. It was called Feed Me. And the whole game looked like Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors. And it was amazing, this big plastic plant. And you had red and black balls, and you had to take balls out of Audrey's mouth. And it was kind of a little bit like Crocodile Dentist, and it would snap claws and bite your hand. And it's like that game never existed. I can't find a copy, and yet MB obviously put the time to make this thing and publicize it and design it, and I find it amazing that such care has fallen by the wayside. I like finding these forgotten ones, these relics that a lot of people don't know about. That's what really interests me.
See, here you are mentioning another one, and I'm looking at this now. It's a plant.
Yeah.
And they're feeding it little pellets. That's incredible. I've never heard of this game either. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, so this is a game that you had a while back.
It probably went to charity shop or like a school fete or something like that.
My gosh, that is incredible that you still remembered. See, because I'll think of a board game, but then I'll forget the name. I'll what was the name of that stupid board game? That's incredible, and it's not for sale anywhere either. So you're right. Wow.
The thing is, as well is,
and the most aggravating thing is, it's sitting in someone's closet gathering dust, or in someone else's attic.
I mean, there's games what you've got in your collection that I'm hunting for. I cannot find because US exclusives, and I know it's the same with.
Give me a few examples.
It from the Pit.
Oh, that's a great game.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. It from the Pit looks amazing. Talking Mystery Mansion. That we got
Yes.
Mystery Mansion, but we never got a talking version over in
Never
England.
got the electronic version. Oh, the electronic version is where it's at.
There's one called Legend of Zagor, I think, or Zagor.
That one was a hard one for me to get.
Yeah,
And
I think
it's interesting.
So yeah, I mean, I find out about these games, like, and what amazes me too is like, I saw you had Thunder Road on your shelf.
Mm-hmm.
The box art is completely different for the US to the UK variant.
I'm sure about that. We have different box art on certain games. I have noticed that.
And it blows my mind that they would get 2 paintings done for these boxes, and they're both beautiful in their own right.
I know, and they didn't copy or reuse things. It's brand new for the UK.
Yeah,
in the US.
Games like Crash Canyon, cannot find that over here at all.
That's a hard one to find here too, I think.
I think anything with those sort of 3D molded boards, which again, why don't we see more of those? I would love to see more games like that.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you know what? I know someone who works for a toy company.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I mean, why aren't they making? Because it seems like board games for children have gotten lazy and cheap. Not to be too harsh on them, but they've just seemed. I mean, they still come up with they got Pop the Pig. They got they're doing cute little things. But I'm like thinking, that's not as inventive and creative as the other ones, and they seem like not for the 10, 12-year-olds. Now I know those kids are probably playing video games right now, which is why the board game industry had to go younger for kids. But I really wish. I truly believe that board games are making a big comeback.
Massively so.
For adults as well as kids, because kids are getting involved. And if you were to bring back some really great kids games, parents, I mean, well, we'll get to this, but you're a big fan of Ghost. Have you seen what is the game? It was a reprint of the old Ghostbusters game. They rethemed it. Oh my gosh, I just forgot the name of the Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunters. It used to be Ghostbusters Behind the Barrier, and they. Oh
yes, I did see it. They made it for the 2015 Ghostbusters, didn't they?
Well, they reprinted it, and that one. But no, you're right. They reprinted it in 2016 for that movie, but the one I'm thinking about must not have been the reprint. But this is Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunters. It's a co-op game where you're going around busting ghosts in a way, grabbing the jewels and trying to get them out. And it's kind of like Pandemic in a way, to where if you run out of ghosts to put on the board, every round you have to put more and more ghosts on the board. If you run out of ghosts that you have to place, you lost the game. So you can't just be running in and out of rooms getting gems. You have to fight those ghosts and get rid of them. And it's for kids, but it's a fun little family. I call them family games. They're fun little because it's games you can play with the whole family. Now, where you are in awe of Milton Bradley, there's one. I think I mentioned this to you on your channel once. I am in awe of Waddington.
I thought you were. Yeah.
I really am a fan. There's a lot of Waddington games that are so unique and different that I'll be honest, there's a lot of, I look at that Bigfoot game. I look at the, Dine and Dash.
Dine and Dash, yeah.
One you reviewed even that I almost bought.
Treasures
and Trapdoors. Yes. And I was like, that is so, and folks, you don't see the art, and that's another thing you point out. You point out the art that they go into. I don't even think about that because I'm just not that bright. But you go in there and you show that. Seriously, you say, look at all the artwork, look at all the detail. I'm like, that is a lot of detail. It's not like, big, nice oil painting. No, but they put a lot of detail into a children's game is what you're showing us. And I was
it
like,
shows
that's right.
care.
It looks great. It looks great. It adds to the theme. It adds to the ambiance of when you're playing the game. But they just have a lot of unique, and that's the thing. I wish there was a whole. They have a dinosaur game too that I really like.
Is that Lost Valleys of the Dinosaurs?
Yes, Lost Valley of the Dinosaurs with the lava pieces. I was like, who makes a game with that much detail and that the dinosaurs are all these painted. They're basically toys.
They're brilliant.
Toys around the board, and I'm like, who? And I tried to learn a little bit about Waddington games. Wikipedia. Which, you're only going to get the bare bones there. But I feel that they just had a love for board games. They had a flair for them to make them look awesome.
Yeah.
And they didn't just do your generic run-of-the-mill. Now, they did... I'm sure they were the distributor for Milton Bradley and Parker Brothers and Hasbro, because it seems like they had a bunch of those games, and they came out through Waddington in the UK, right?
Yes.
The same version.
Monopoly was Waddington's.
Right.
One game that sticks out to me was mentioning about the unique mechanics, and I know you love games with 3D boards. You should check out Give the Dog a Bone. It's a free... Yeah.
How are you doing this? I should know all these. Okay, Give a Dog a Bone. Keep talking.
It's a 3D moldy board, and it's made to look like a garden, like a cartoon back garden. And there's a doghouse in the middle, and you've got a dog, which is like one of those sort of pull back and go cars. And it's got multiple tracks that the dog can run around. And depending on where the dog lands in the garden, you get a certain amount of bones. And it's a really simple children's game, but it's presentation-wise, it's just superb.
I'm looking at this right now. See, this is the thing, and the thing is, the cover looks so awful, I never would have checked this out.
It's a pretty ropey-looking box art, I'll give you that, but the actual game, I mean, my brother had this when he was young, and I remember playing it. It was good fun.
I'm going to check that out. That is amazing. See, look at this. Your knowledge of vintage board games even surpasses my own. Heck, I won't speak for Norm because I'm a good friend of Norm's, but you actually may know a little bit more than Norm from the Board Game Museum.
I think too as well. There is a lot of great new kids games coming out as well, but not so much the ones that you would find within like a supermarket or like a grocery store, something like in Walmart, or they're the sort of the ones that you really have to hunt for, the sort of things that you would have to go to a specific game shop or even like a games convention to find. And I've stumbled across some excellent ones, and it gives me hope, like that kids are growing up with these really inventive, fun games. Like Rhino Hero. I know you're a fan of Rhino Hero as well.
I'm a fan of Rhino Hero. I think Haba is doing a great job. I have a few Haba games now that I've added to my list. Of course, Hanga and Inquisaro, I think or Inquizo or whatever it's called. I added those games. There's a few other Haba games I'm kind of interested in. Of course, I have 2 little girls. They're nowhere near old enough to start playing these games. But
you should
go ahead.
You should get Haba game Lux Antis.
What's it called?
Lux Antis, like Atlantis, but with LUX at the start. It's beautiful.
Is that by Haba?
That's by Haba. The game board has got something like 500 LEDs in it, and it lights up. And lights up to show you dangerous areas on the board, which are red, and the blue areas of the board, which are safe. And there's a button, there's like a control box in the middle, and if you activate it, it randomizes again the safe areas and danger areas. So the safe areas and danger areas are constantly changing, and you have to get ingredients to defeat monsters and protect the castle. It's a lot of fun. It's a really simple kids game, but I saw it at Games Expo and I was just blown away by it. It's such a silly, fun game.
I'm writing down all these games. Wow. That is incredible. Man, getting schooled here on my knowledge of vintage games. Well, another one, the most recent one I think that you reviewed that I said I have to get that is Ready, Set, Spaghetti.
Oh, yes.
And I brought it to my nephews, and at first they always look at me a little bit like, Uncle Matt, why did you get us this? Why did you get this game? I'm like thinking, yeah, just give it a try, because they're like, it doesn't look like much. And then they start playing it. Then they see the strategy in it. And it's a lot smarter game than you give credit for, because there are sometimes like, oh, look, the string didn't wrap around this little peg. Well, no one's going to pull that peg. Yeah, you are. If it's your turn, you don't want to help so-and-so, so you pull a peg that doesn't. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, every peg matters here. Every peg matters. Sometimes you will purposely not pull one that could help you, but it may help this person even more. I love that about the game. I absolutely love it. And I think I bought one. I did the review. I pretended like it was my own, but I did give you credit, I believe, for helping me find that one, because that was just amazing. And you've also you did your what was it called, the metal ball bearing week 7.
Oh yeah, ball bearing games.
Ball bearing games. Oh man. And then you revealed what your little gamer tag is. It's from that last ball bearing. And it didn't hit me until I saw the big mechanical monkey on top. Those were incredible. And this is the thing, folks. It's not just that stretches the line. It is a board game. It's almost a toy. But the thing is, though, it's skill.
Yeah.
There's a lot of skill involved, a lot of timing involved on when you can get it done. Some of these games are timed, some of them are skilled, and some of it's just the joy, like you're saying, hearing the whirls, the clicks, and how things evolved. You took these ball bearings and you went from the earliest version, the noisiest one. You even let the thing play to show how noisy it was, and then you showed the evolution of how this toy company, and this is the thing, it stopped being a review of the board game. You were reviewing how the toy company, how technology, they were getting better at these ball bearings, where when it gets to the final version, it's running smooth. You don't hear anything, and it's just like they finally perfected it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've recently been on vacation went to Disney World for Halloween. But I went into Target whilst I was over there, and I picked up a brand new mechanical ball bearing game. And spotting it on the shelf, I was like, oh, I've got to get this. I said, there's no two ways about it. I said, if I'm over on my luggage allowance, I don't care. I am getting this thing.
That is awesome. So you did. I heard you just visited the U.S. Do you go to Disney World often?
No, it's the first time in 20 years.
Oh wow! So did the whole family go, or did you just decide to go, or what?
I went with friends. So we spoke about it for a while, and we went for Halloween. We thought, let's do this. So that's fantastic.
That's one of the best times to go, to be honest. During Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween and Epcot's Food and Wine Festival. It's really amazing. It happens around the same time, and usually we go late September. That's our favorite time. And of course, we didn't go this year because of the babies. But I was like, oh man, are you kidding me? I can only imagine being in line for the Haunted Mansion and turning around and seeing you and embarrassing my wife in public. I think that's Luke from down from the attic. Should I say something? Don't say anything. I think I'm going to say something. Have you been?
We were there for Food and Wine Festival, and we saw the new Epcot show there because Reflections of Earth has finished now.
Right.
Went to the Universal Horror Nights, which was all 80s themed and fantastic. It was just brilliant, all out fantastic.
That's awesome. That's all. Have you been noticed on your channel yet? Have you been noticed out in public?
Actually, yeah. I was at a friend's wedding, and I had one of the guests come over and said, "You're that guy who does the board game reviews, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah." Wow. I said,
It's weird the first time, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it really is. I'm guessing you get it a lot more than me with the Star Wars.
I get it from time to time, but it's still a little weird. The last time I got it, I was at a board game convention, and someone was just standing over me, and usually they're looking at the board game. And I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" I said, "We're almost done if you want to play." And he goes, "No, I'm just here to say thank you for your reviews. That means so much. I found so many games." And I was like, for like 2 seconds, I was like, "Who's he talking about?" Oh, me! You watch the channel. Because I know people watch it. I know a lot of people watch it, but I just never think, what are the odds I'd run into people? And Gen Con was the first time I ever ran into someone who says, "Excuse me, are you Matt Wilkins?" I was like, "Yes." I didn't know what he wanted. I didn't know what he was going to say. He's like, "I love your videos." And I had to look at him for a minute like, what is he talking? YouTube. Oh, you watch those things? You know, it's kind of funny how, you just don't realize it, but hopefully that'll be more common for you after this. I want people to...
It's nice to get feedback like that, I think. That people are enjoying the videos, It makes the effort worthwhile.
It is encouraging to know that people are out there who care about it and who love it, and it just motivates you to do it more. That's why I tell people on my channel, all the comments and everything, and that I still keep getting subscribers and everything, and subscribers have been just moving, they've been subscribing. That's really nice that they do. They don't have to. I'm glad they do, though, because it's like, wow, they are really encouraging me to just keep continuing doing these videos, and I continue having fun. And that's the thing. We have fun doing the videos. It's not work. Yeah. It's more fun than anything. Now, I want to end with one bonus question that I just found out prior to our interview here is, you're a huge, and when I say huge, I mean huge, Ghostbusters fan.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually, folks, I'm going to do a video. I've already decided I'm going to do a video stream with Luke one of these days, and we're going to get a tour of his place. He has Ghostbusters autographs, Ghostbusters memorabilia, Ghostbusters toys. I do see a lightsaber, though, above the windowsill there. Yeah.
Got Luke's lightsaber there.
Yes, Luke. Of course it's your lightsaber. Oh, Luke. I'm kidding. Anyway, he has a Ghostbusters sign. I mean, a real nice sign. The sign that's outside of the Ghostbusters firehouse headquarters. He has his own uniform and jetpack that glows, lights up, makes noises from the movie, and even sings the theme song to Ghostbusters. And it must be in stereo, because it sounded good from where I was.
It's got 2 car speakers in it.
It's got car speakers.
It's loud.
It's great. It is great. And you built that too. He didn't buy it anywhere. So the man's skill knows no limits here. So I gotta ask, why Ghostbusters? What about Ghostbusters made you because this is something that's not revealed on your channel.
No. I keep it under wraps.
Okay, well, I just let the cat out of the bag. But anyway, what made you why Ghostbusters? I loved Ghostbusters, but why Ghostbusters?
I was born in '85, and I grew up watching real Ghostbusters cartoons. They were, finish school, 3:30. Ghostbusters, watch Ghostbusters, and one of the earliest memories of going to the cinema was seeing Ghostbusters 2, and sat through everything. Everything was fine up until the bit where baby Oscar's on the ledge of the building and Janosch comes flying in, dressed as the nanny with the pram. And I just freaked out. I thought, that baby's going to fall off there. There's no problem with the ghosts. No problem with the ghosts. Just thought, no, I can't deal with this baby, like on the ledge. But yeah, I remember seeing it at a very young age. And everyone goes through like their age of darkness where you try and put stuff to one side. It's not cool anymore. And then back in... I've been doing this for 10 years, and I just sort of started looking around on the internet, on websites like gbfans.com, and started reading people's builds, and I thought, I could probably do this, So I started off by building the thrower, the gun. I ordered a kit there to be able, to build that, and I thought, if I can do this, I can probably tackle the pack. And built it, put the lights in it, and that was it then. That was the real catalyst to really starting to collect and build the uniforms and equipment. And it's a labor of love.
It's an incredible labor of love, to be honest. It really is impressive. Like I wish my former co-hosts were here, because they would be cheering you on to no doubt, because you'd be a hero in their mind with that pack there. In fact, I'll have to get the missus to come on here and see this later on. But incredible. So one last question. I know that said this is going to be my last question. This is my last question. The new movie coming out next year. Is it next year? Yeah. It's supposed to be the originals, right?
It is. It's
Dan Aykroyd, and we know for sure, and Ernie Hudson. Yeah. Maybe Bill Murray?
Bill Murray's now been confirmed.
He did get confirmed. Okay, I missed that. Okay.
Yeah.
So now you are really excited for this, I'm guessing.
Totally, yeah.
I mean, you must be over the moon, because this is a third movie that's been. I hope they won't call it Ghostbusters 3. I really
It's
hope
not-
they do, just because I want to see the ghost hold up the three fingers.
The title's been unveiled. It's called Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Okay.
But yeah, they've managed to get quite a lot of the original cast. So Annie Potts as Janine, Sigourney Weaver. I believe as well, there is rumour that they've got Rick Moranis out of retirement.
Really? Because I was about to ask about Rick
Yeah.
Moranis. He went into retirement.
Yeah.
But to be honest, he is open to ideas if it is appealing to him. I saw an interview with him a few years back.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing the same thing. He said, if we can get the old troupe back together, then I'd be on board for it. And it seems like this is the time now. I mean, I don't know if you've seen photographs or videos of... They've got Ecto 1 back. I mean...
Well, see, I think they're...
Legitimize it any more than that.
2016 was a misstep. I never even saw the movie. I was disgusted. I was like, no, if you're going to do a Ghostbusters movie, you need to have the originals. And folks, it's not because there are women in it. It was just because I don't like remakes. I do not like remakes of classics. I love the classics. Give me the classic Ghostbusters. And now that they're going to give us the classic Ghostbusters, I can't wait either. I mean, my excitement pales in comparison to what you must be. You must be over the moon right now.
Really am. I mean, I run a local chapter. I mean, I'm part of the UK Ghostbusters, and we have our own franchises up and down the country. So there's the Yorkshire Ghostbusters, and I'm kind of the captain leader of the Greater Manchester Ghostbusters. And you know, we've got members with their own gear. One of our members actually has a 59 Cadillac ambulance, completely decked out like Ecto. Yeah. So next year is going to be exciting. Next year,
definitely,
we'll be bringing the car out. Hopefully, yeah.
It's got to be a little bittersweet that Egon can't join. Obviously.
It is.
But Dan Aykroyd's been trying to get this movie together for decades, right?
Oh yeah, at least for as far as I know, since '97. I mean, we're talking Ghostbusters 2 came out in '89. When it's nearly 30 years in the making. This,
right?
I just hope it lives up to expectations.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep my expectations as low as possible. I'm trying to keep my feed on Facebook and social media as spoiler-free as possible. I just want to go into that film with a blank slate. I don't want to know anything other than what I see in the trailer and, you know, what I see on the screen.
I think Dan Aykroyd would treat this with respect. This is his baby. This has been his project. He's always wanted to make it work. And if Bill Murray's coming back, he won't come back for just anything.
No, he's notoriously difficult to get on anything.
Yeah, he's been the main hold off from Ghostbusters even making. Because I remember the rumors back in the late 90s was Chris Farley was going to be the new recruit. You know, they're going to bring in a new recruit and everything. And so he's had ideas and he's had to morph the script. But Bill Murray's always said, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do another sequel. He hated doing the second movie. So,
yeah. The second movie changed from what I remember reading. The script, what they shot, was different from the script that he was handed and signed on to the project, and he really didn't like that.
Yeah.
So it's like what could have been, you know.
What could have been, and I know if they could have gotten together, because I think the studio was saying no, we want a reboot, and when the reboot failed, they said okay, let me see what you got. Because they still want Ghostbusters. They know Ghostbusters has a big fan base. They just don't know how to connect to it. And connect to it is to bring back the originals. And I think this is a great idea. So, hey, maybe later on we'll have to do a Ghostbuster podcast.
Sure, yeah.
I think you may know a few things about this.
From what I know about the third film, I believe it's a passing of the torch. Paul Rudd is cast, I believe, main cast in it as well.
I love Paul Rudd.
Yeah, I can see him being a really good Ghostbuster. He's got the smarm and snarkiness and sort of humour there, I think, which is just going to suit it just right. I think. I hope he ends up being a Ghostbuster by the end of it. I really do. they start the business up, they pass the baton, and yeah, I'm excited to see where it's going.
Yeah, I am too. Well, look, thanks for making the time to be on the podcast. I really appreciate this. So once again, folks, his channel is Down from the Attic. Well, you go ahead and pitch it. Pitch your channel. Go for it.
Yeah, my show, my YouTube channel is it's called Down from the Attic. I look at board games, collectibles, old toys, mostly 80s, 90s toys, stuff that I had as a kid and grew up with. But I do have some new games as well, new games that I've picked up at conventions that I've enjoyed playing, and from review to review, it's just whatever I fancy reviewing that time, you know. It's just me, my toy collection and game collection, basically.
All right, well, hey, thanks again, Luke, for joining me.